What's up, everyone? This is Robert of ISF Media, and welcome back to our channel under the flagship program of Education, Educating the Nation, our Season 1 podcast of What's Up DepEd. So this is episode 7 of Season 1 What's Up DepEd. And today is the last Friday of the vacation of our teachers, and come Monday will be the opening of our classes. So tapos na bakasyon natin mga guro, official bakasyon kasi weekends naman yan eh. So what are the things that happened for this week? Highlights. Una, yung inilabas na policy guidelines on DepEd Order Number 10 series of 2024 about the matatag curriculum. So, meron na po tayong guidelines. What are the most important features or parang information that would affect directly our teachers? Yung magkakaroon agad ng impact sa DepEd Order Number 10 would be the formal declaration, that is, meron na pong legal basis based on an existing policy with DepEd na wala na pong mother tongue na learning area. Malakas yung hangin. So yun nga po, wala na po yung mother tongue. That would mean the learning area na MTB is already gone for grade 1 kasi by phase yung implementation niya, which means currently it will be implemented for grades 1, 4, 7, and 10. 7 and 11. Hindi na makasama yung 11. 1, 4, 7. Kinder, grade 1, grade 4, and grade 7. Yun po. And then, second thing, lakas talaga ng hangin, The second thing would be, apart from the removal of MTB sa grade 1, is kasama rin sa mawawala ang Filipino and English. So, wala nang English and Filipino sa grade 1. Magsisimula ang learning area ng English and Filipino sa grade 2. Mapapalitan ito ng reading and literacy. That's the first one. The second would be language. So, yun yung magpapalit sa English, Filipino, and MTB. And then, there will be the formal implementation of the NRP and NMP. So, nakalagay na rin doon na i-implement na po ang National Reading Program and the National Mathematics Program, which are new features ng matatag curriculum na wala po sa K-12 na curriculum. So marami-rami rin yung mga bago. And then the National Mathematics Program will be implemented until grades 10. Pero by phasing nga. Yung NRP kasi hanggang grade 1 lang yata. 1, 2, and 3. Sa key stage 1 lang kasi talaga siya eh. Wala kaming ginawang policy for NRP sa grades 4 to grade 4 and above. Ang lakas ng hangin. Wow. Parang uulan din kasi yata. So we're gonna make this quick. So apart from that, sa mga nabago sa DepEd Order Number 10 is the recalibration of the number of minutes. So 45 minutes na nga yung mga learning areas natin. And then the implementation of the recalibration of the minutes includes grades 2, 3, kahit hindi pa siya kasama sa implementation ng matatag, and then 5 and 6 din as well. So that would mean na yung number of minutes ng mga learning areas na hindi pa kasama sa matatag curriculum currently within the opening of the school year, magbabago na rin yung mga learning area, number of minutes per learning area nila. Hindi ng mga batang to. And then, apart from that, apart from the number of minutes, magkakaroon na rin po ng formal declaration from the policy, based on the policy, na i-implement na po ang departmentalization sa grade 3. Oo. This is in response to yung clamor na matagal na po nating sinasabi sa central office na yun nga, ang grade 3 ang pinakaunang grade level na bombarded kung iisipin talaga ang number of minutes. Kasi sila yung unang full load. Lahat, teach all, ang lahat ng learning areas nila, full load pa talaga, and then advisory pa talaga. So, with the implementation of DepEd Order number 5, which is the guidelines on the overtime pay and the vacation service credits, come this school year, kapag hindi babaguhin ang grade 3, it would also mean na magkakaroon ng overtime pay parati ang grade 3. So, kaya isama na po siya sa departmentalization. Departmentalization, for those who do not know, it means meron pong mga academic teachers who will be handling learning areas apart from the advisories na nag-handle ng per learning area ng bawat klase sa grade level. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng departmentalization. So it could be na most common practice kasi is one teacher will be teaching all the learning, one teacher will be teaching all the classes for a particular grade level, pero isang subject lang yung ituturo niya. So it would imply na yung preparation niya would be much shorter kahit multiple classes ang i-handle niya. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng departmentalization. That would also mean that the assessments, evaluative assessments, or the summative assessments that will be delivered for all the classes would be uniform. Kasi there will only be one teacher who will be handling that particular learning area. So, yan po ang ibig sabihin ng departmentalization. And the last point about departmentalization sa grade 3 within the policy of DepEd Order number 10, series of 2024, is that the departmentalization is the manifestation of the teacher needs analysis on the school. Kasi po, under sa computation ng teacher needs analysis, for every learning area po sa grade 3, for every one class sa grade 3, ang ginagamit po nating formula is 6:1. So for every 6 classes, there will be another one teacher who can handle one learning area per class. Yun po yung interpretation niya. Kaya po siya mayroong 1.2 na computation sa TNA na i-multiply po yung total number of students sa 1.2. Divided by the total number of classes. Total number of students divided by the number of maximum students per learning area, per class, multiplied by 1.2. Yun po ang formula natin sa grade 3. Sa mga hindi po nakakalam, yan po yung TNA natin, no? Teacher Needs Analysis na computation. Yung mga nagtatanong bakit na-declare na may excess teachers sila or merong mga insufficient number of teachers sila, lacking number of teachers sila, yun po ang ating computation na ginagamit, no? Yan. So ano pang mga nabanggit po sa DepEd Order number 10? Apart from that, meron na po silang sample class program na binigay. And then, of course, the formality na meron na ang homeroom guidance program. It also means na i-implement na po yung policy guidelines ng homeroom guidance which was already released last 2022, if I'm not mistaken, or 2021. So, gagamitin na po natin yung mga homeroom guidance forms. Yun po ang kaakibat ng homeroom guidance program. So, yeah, yun nga. Magkakaroon na naman ng additional forms na i-comply si teacher. Hindi lang nabanggit sa policy sa mga nakasama siguro sa matatag training, hindi na yan na mention Pero when you look at the class program sa matatag curriculum, nakalagay po talaga doon yung HGP, which is the homeroom guidance program. kasama po sa homeroom guidance program ang homeroom guidance forms. And if I am not mistaken, magkakaroon ng additional 4 na forms yata yan, 4 or 3 na forms na kailangan i-comply with the implementation of the HGP formally, no? So we will get to the question po. Meron na tayong tanong agad ngayon, ano? We will get to that later on. Currently I am reviewing yung ano natin, yung DepEd Order number 10 kasi napakabigat yun eh. Yun yung policy, yun yung legal basis kasi ng matatag curriculum eh. Kaya medyo browse through natin yung mga important na details. The assessment is basically the same sa matatag curriculum. Yung policy guidelines natin sa assessment will still be DepEd Order number 8, Series of 2015. The computation of the grades will basically be the same. Walang pagkakaiba doon. Except on the aspect about literacy, reading and literacy, and language. Yun lang ang hindi kasi na-mention eh. The presumption is, i-apply pa rin yung DepEd Order number 8 sa matatag curriculum, pero yung language and reading and literacy, wala yun siya sa DepEd Order number 8. So unless clearly stipulated na kasi replacement siya ng English, Filipino, and MTB, so i-adapt yung computation ng grades ng English, Filipino, and MTB sa literacy, reading and literacy and language. So I'm not sure kung jive ba siya, it fits. Kasi reading and literacy is more on a performance assessment. So if it's a performance assessment, I don't think we can use the language assessments, English, Math, and MTB as the basis for that. Pero kasi wala kasi stipulation eh kung ano talaga yung gagamitin na computation of that grades. So status quo ang magiging ano niyan. But yun yung ano ko, yun yung rationalization ko on that part na there should be an explicit computation of the performance, the computation of grades based on the rate for the written works, performance tasks, and quarterly assessment for these two new learning areas, language and reading and literacy. Dapat klaro, specify dapat yan eh. And I've been asking a lot of those who were able to attend the Matatag training, and unfortunately I haven't received any clear answer or response yet as to the computation of the grades. Kasi they were just, the policy only stipulated that we will be adopting DepEd Order number 8 within the Matatag curriculum. Pero walang binanggit about specificity. Walang specification. Ano pa ba sa DepEd Order number 10? Parang yun lang. I think that's about it. So if I missed something, you can comment it here in our video. Another thing na balita about DepEd is yun nga, yung ceremonial signing kanina with the implementing rules and regulations of the career progression, no? So I thought, yun nga, saan po makikita ang kopya ng IRR? I thought nga, they will be giving at least man lang the link, di ba, to where we can actually look at the IRR. Kasi like ceremonial signing eh. As far as I know, when we have a ceremonial signing, we are actually launching the IRR already. Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. Na kapag naglagay ka po ng ceremonial signing, it means i-implement na yung IRR ng career progression. So there is already the finalized draft or finalized paper for the IRR. Meron na. Kasi nga, like, ceremonial signing na. Ibig sabihin, tapos na. Diba? I was really hoping that they would provide us the link for the IRR para makita natin. Kasi hindi naman siya para lang sa mga HR eh. Hindi lang siya para sa mga regions, hindi lang siya para sa mga division offices. Kasi yung teacher progression, career teacher progression is para sa mga guro. So, dapat aware tayo kung ano yung laman niya. Di ba? Hindi lang yung sinabi na, okay, tapos na siya, we're signing it. So, yun. Hindi kasi pinakita. So, yun lang yung medyo disappointing sa part na yun. So, kung nasubaybayan po ninyo ang mga naging hearing sessions with the House of Representatives regarding the career progression, kasi nga yung EO 174, was released 2022, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, sa time ng end of the tenure of the former president. So it's already 2024. So mahaba-haba na po yung panahon na hindi pa na-i-implement ang isang executive order. So without the implementing rules and regulations, they cannot implement it. And without the copy of the implementing rules and regulations, we don't know exactly ano ba yung na-finalize from the different sessions that were conducted in the Congress, from the House of Representatives, and with the meetings that were also administered with the DBM, PRC, and DepEd, and the different stakeholders and private organizations who are involved in the crafting of the IRR, wala pong nailabas. So kung napanood nyo lang po yun, yung mga sessions na yun, basically, the issue is, hindi naman issue kasi kung pangit ba o hindi yung career progression. Walang against sa career progression. Except sa mga presumptions ng mga tao about the implementing rules and regulations of the career progression. Especially those who were not specifically mentioned to be part of the career progression system of the Department of Education. So, sino po yun sila? Yun pong mga SPED teachers. Ang ingay naman ng asong yan. Yung mga SPED teachers, kasi hindi sila specifically mentioned sa career progression. The head teachers, hindi po sila specifically mentioned sa career progression. So, sila yung medyo may issue about it. And I am a head teacher, so I do have some concerns about it as well. Kasi we are in the non-teaching strand, pero wala kaming counterpart na specifically stipulated within the EO 174. So, ang binanggit lang kasi doon yung master teacher and the principal. Yung principal mismo. Kasi yung salary grades nila pwedeng magkatugma, si MT2 and si Principal 1. So, pwede magkaroon ng swapping kung magta-transfer ng career line. Si Principal gusto niyang bumalik sa teaching career, pwede siya mag-MT2. Si MT2, kapag gusto niyang mapunta sa administrative track, pwede siyang mag-Principal 1. Ganun yung format niya. So, bali, ang magiging gate or parang border ng lahat is the MT1. So, si MT1, kung ikaw MT1 ka, you will now decide what career path you will be taking. Either you will go to the administrative path or you will continue with the teaching path. If you are going to take the administrative path, you will take the principal's test for the Principal 1 position. If you are going to continue with the teaching path, then you will comply with the necessary requirements for the Master Teacher 2 position. So, ganun yung niya. Yung parang yung edge will be the Master Teacher 1. Now, the issue comes with the head teachers. Kasi yung head teachers kasi, sa current format ng ating, itemization with the Department of Education, Teacher 1, 2, and 3, and then after Teacher 3, kung pag-continue siya sa teaching strand or sa teaching track, tatalon agad to Master Teacher 1. So that's actually salary grade 13 going to salary grade 18. Ang layo, Yun yung totoong quantum leap. Yun talaga yung totoong quantum leap from Teacher 3 to Master Teacher 1. So, ang Head Teacher 1 is salary grade 14, which is a salary grade higher than the Teacher 3. So, in the current system, kung i-implement na yung career progression, Teacher 4 ang counterpart ni Head Teacher 1. But the current tasks and responsibilities of the head teacher are not at par with a teacher 4. In fact, pwede pa siyang at par sa master teacher. So, kaya malaking issue yung head teachers dito. Kasi kung sasabihin nila na i-convert nila yung head teacher position into the counterparts of teacher 4 to teacher 7, naku, yung head teacher 3, magiging ano yun? 1, 2, 3, so that will be 4, 5, 6. So, teacher 6, yung head teacher 3. Pero yung trabaho ng teacher 6 is, nandun pa siya sa learning. Nasa learning path pa siya ng teaching profession. Wala pa siya sa mastery path. Hindi pa siya sa high proficiency ng teaching. Whereas yung head teacher 3, siya na yung nag-o-observe ng klase, nagkakandak ng mga technical assistance sa mga teachers and how they could improve teaching. So, di ba? Yung parang downgrade yung bagsak eh. Yung head teacher, mada-downgrade siya kapag itatapon mo siya sa counterpart niya na teacher 6 from teacher 3. So, yun yung problem. And of course, sa elementary part, yung mga head teachers po natin sa elementary, most if not all, are also handling schools already. So, nasa school head position na sila. So, kung ika-counterpart nila yung head teacher, ika-counterpart mo siya again, kunwari, meron tayong head teacher 1 sa elementary, siya na yung nakahandle ng isang medium size school or smaller size school, magiging teacher 4 siya. So, yung school head ng isang school is teacher 4. So, hindi siya magandang tingnan sa agency, in fact. So, yun yung problem, no? And of course, yung SPED teachers, yung concerns nila kapag magiging teacher 4 sila kasi yung SPED teacher 1 is salary grade 14 kasama ng katulad ng head teacher 1. So, magiging teacher 4 sila kapag ganun yung classification niya without the specification in the plantilla item na SPED teacher sila, baka ililipat-lipat na sila sa mainstream. Hindi naman nila yun forte. So, nakikita niyo po na ba natin yung issue, ano? So, there are certain concerns pa rin talaga sa career progression. But all in all, with the majority of the teaching personnel nationwide, napakaganda po ng advocacy ng career progression. So maganda po ang ano nito, no? Ang adhikain nito. And then if you watched the presentation a while ago with Yussi Cabral, yung undersecretary po sa BHROD ng Central Office, he also mentioned that the IRR for the career progression is binago niya po yung stance on natural vacancy. Maghihintay pa ng natural vacancy si teacher bago siya mapopromote. So, yun po yung parang tinanggal nila yung concept ng natural vacancy as a condition for promotion. So, maganda po yun. Pero, ang tanong ko lang sana dun, ano pinagkaiba nun sa reclassification? Hindi po ba? Parang binago lang natin yung firm eh. Yung gumaganda, yung ganun, na si teacher nga, hindi na niya kailangan maghintay pa ng natural vacancy to apply for a promotion. Pero yun nga, ano pinagkaiba niya sa reclassification? Yung policy nga ng reclassification, medyo magulo rin eh. And I have a pending email with BHROD na last month ko pa pinadala, and then finalo up ko last week, and again, finalo up na naman this week. Ngayon pa po, naka-receive again ng acknowledgement na they are attending to it already. They will be attending to it. And it was all about promotion and reclassification. Yun pa rin yung tanong ko. May mga concerns talaga tayo dyan. Kasi po, we are trying to find the right answers to the existing questions that are being, that are evident within the field. No? Yung field kasi yung concern talaga natin. And then, para sa mga guro din, na who will be in the future, magkakaroon ng same issue na nakita ko po, alam nila kung paano nila to i-address. Kasi meron tayong basis coming from the appropriate offices and personnel from the central office, no? So let's look into the mga comments. Okay, here's another one. Wala na pong mother tongue sa grade 1 to 3. Yes po. Pero yun nga, sa implementation phase ng DepEd Order number 10, ang implementation na tatanggalin yung mother tongue sa grade 1 pa lang. Walang binanggit sa grade 2 and grade 3. Next year pa magsisimula sa grade 2 and then so on sa grade 3. Yung mga, ang alam ko, yung parang concern kasi dito is may lumabas na message, parang chain message coming from a certain person from central office na sinabi na tatanggalin na daw yung MTB sa grade 2 and grade 3. Ilagay po nila sa policy. Put it into writing. Put it in black and white. Huwag yung chain message lang na ipapakita sa messenger. Forwarded lang. Screenshot nyo. Sabihin nyo, kung sino man po yung nagsabi nun, kung sino yung original nun, screenshot po nila yung original talaga na sinabi ni sir or ni ma'am from the concerned personnel ng opisinang ganito, ng central office, na talaga nang tatanggalin nga yung MTB sa grade 2 and grade 3 this school year, tapos i-email po natin sa central office. Pa-confirm po natin sa kanila kung totoo ba. Wag yung nasasanay po tayo sa forwarded messages yung DepEd Order number 10, maliwanag na binanggit So, maliwanag na nandun na grade 2 and grade 3 will still be following the 2016 curriculum. So, nandun naman So, wag nating tanggalin. Wag nating anuhin. Tinanggal na po sa nasa Annex 3. Okay, basahin natin ha. Ay, nako. Para maliwanag, para klaro. Si Sir, may concern si Sir Basahin natin. Para maliwanag. Nasaan na yun? Babasahin tayong parte sa DepEd Order number 10. Okay. Item number 35 sa DepEd Order number 10. The implementation of the 2016 K-12 Basic Education Curriculum using the most essential learning competencies shall be replaced gradually in the succeeding school years following phased implementation of the Matatag curriculum. Sample class program can be found in Annex 4. Okay? So that's item number 35 under phased implementation of the Matatag curriculum. So maliwanag po yun. Ulitin ko po ha. Babasahin natin. The implementation of the 2016 K-12 Basic Education Curriculum using the most essential learning competencies shall be replaced gradually in the succeeding school years following the phased implementation of the Matatag curriculum. Sample class programs can be found in Annex 4. So, klaruhin lang po natin na nasa DepEd order po mismo. Sir Arlen, tingnan niyo po yung Annex 4. Tingnan po natin yung Annex 4, para mas klaro. Kasi mahirap po yung yung hindi natin makita yung mismong tawag nito, yung nakalagay sa policy ng DepEd, no? So, tapos ang ending pa naman yan kasi yung sinasabi natin na put it into writing parati. Mahirap yung hindi naka-writing. Kasi dinadaan na lang nila sa yun nga, text messages, chain messages, which is very unprofessional. Kapag meron na pong policy na nilabas, sundin po natin yung policy. Especially that it is a DepEd order. And we've mentioned this before. Kasi nga, we've been involved with the planning service. Binanggit na nga siya na DepEd orders are non-arbitrary. Ibig po sabihin ng non-arbitrary, we do not have the choice to cherry pick yung susundin at hindi natin susundin. Yan po yung ibig sabihin ng non-arbitrary. So, kung ano po yung nakalagay sa DepEd order, edi yun lang po talaga yung ipa-follow din po natin. So, tingnan natin po itong sinasabi ni Sir, tinanggal na po siya sa DepEd order 10, nasa Annex 3 daw. Okay, tingnan natin yung Annex 3. Okay, Annex 3. Tingnan natin yung Annex 3 na binabanggit ni Sir. So, I appreciate this kasi this will clarify certain issues that are being held sa field, and then magiging part na siya ng implementation, and then hindi naman pala siya nakalagay dito recalibrated time allotment of the 2016 basic education curriculum. So yan po yung nakalagay dito. Tingnan natin, we will share it here. Okay, yan. So tinanggal na daw siya sa ito. Kasi wala na daw siya dito. Wala na daw MTB. Let us look into it na ang nakalagay po dito is recalibrated time allotment. Yan po, time allotment for grades 2 and 3 of the 2000 basic education based on the matatag curriculum time allotment. So ang concerns po dito is time allotment. So time allotment, number of minutes. So minutes ng mga learning areas. So, ang question dito is, kasi time allotment naman siya. Hindi naman po sinasabi dito na binago niya yung learning areas. Hindi po ba? Klaro po ba? Unless po specifically stipulated na talagang tinanggal yung learning area within this this coming school year. Kapag po ganun talaga, i-clarify nila. Kasi kung hindi, magulo yun. Kasi yung ito nga, balik tayo sa number 35. Number 35. Yan o. The implementation of the 2000 K-12 basic education curriculum using the MELCs. Ano po yung MELCs? Yung mga most essential learning competencies ng ng mga learning area. So we're talking about the learning areas here. Shall be replaced gradually. So yung mga learning area will be replaced gradually in the succeeding school years following the phased implementation of the matatag curriculum. Sample class programs can be found in Annex 4. So, ibig sabihin, tingnan natin yung Annex 4. Ibig sabihin, yung tatanggalin, yung, di ba? Malayo na. Ito na yung matatag curriculum na kasi ito . Matatag curriculum. In the 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 matatag curriculum. So, matatag curriculum siya, hindi yung K-12. Diba? Kaya nga, page 57 daw, yun nga. Time allotment kasi to. Hindi rin po pwede natanggalin natin yung MTB tsaka yung MTB sa grade 2. Ano pa ipapalit nyo? Kunyari, ito, i-implement natin itong NRP, NMP, and HGP. Yung NRP po is National Reading Program. NMP po is National Mathematics Program. Di po ba? Kapag po tinanggal natin yung MTB as a learning area sa grades 2 to 3, granted na ganyan nga po siya pag-interpret, ang papalit po sa kanya, itong tatlong ito, wala pong policy guidelines ang NRP and NMP. So, ibig sabihin, anong gagawin ng mga teachers during the 1-hour period 4 times a week? Dapat tinanong po ninyo yan. I'm not saying na it's wrongly interpreted. I'm saying it's questionably interpreted. Kasi part ako ng NRP. Kami yung part ng NRP. Kami yung gumawa ng NRP. Hindi pa po nalalabas yung draft ng policy ng NRP. And as far as I know, wala pa rin ng policy ang NMP, ng National Mathematics Program. Kasi dalawa yan eh. NMP, NRP. Counterparts na silang dalawa. Yung NRP po, meron po yan siyang training sessions as far as our recommendations were concerned. Meron pong recommendations yon and meron pong session guides kung paano po ituturo ang reading. So, hindi po pwede na, kasi nga, National Reading Program siya, kami na bahala, basta kayo makapag-reading lang kami. Hindi po ganun. Hindi po ganun yung aming interpretation ng NRP sa proposal namin. Wala po kaming sinabi sa aming proposal na kanya-kanya po tayo kung paano natin i-implement ang reading programs. Kaya nga po siya National Reading Program. It is the umbrella that holds all of the reading programs that will be administered, conducted in DepEd. In the same token, the National Mathematics Program holds as an umbrella for all the mathematics programs, numeracy programs, that will be administered in DepEd. Yun po yun siya. So in the absence of the policy that constitutes the NRP and the NMP currently, are they suggesting na walang gagawin 4 times a week si ma'am for a period of 1 hour sa grade 2 and grade 3? Is that their suggestion? Yun po ba ang magiging suggestion nila? Sana po hindi. Kasi mahirap po yun. Napakahirap po na yung teacher sasabihin na naman walang ginagawa sa loob ng 1 oras kada araw, 4 hours in a week. Baka maipit na naman yung teacher. Siguro, before po nila sabihin na wala ng MTB sa grade 2 and grade 3, ilabas muna po nila yung guidelines, yung policy guidelines ng NRP and NMP. Para po maliwanag na mayroong gagawin si ma'am in lieu of the MTB with the current 2016 K-12 Basic Education Curriculum. I'm speaking, as far as I know, being part of the technical working group ng National Reading Program. Yun po ang ano natin. Di ba dapat gradually? So, dapat po i-follow yung table ni Kinder. Yun nga po. That is, kasi nga, it creates confusion kasi yung table din. Na, yung minimension ni Sir Alden. Kasi nga, ang title kasi ng table sa Annex 3 is time allotment. Sa ngalan ng pag-ibig, char. Following the title kasi, it's time allotment ng mga learning areas daw ng 2016 K-12 BEC. Pero hindi sinama, hindi na-recognize doon si MTB. Yun nga, ang interpretation agad is wala ng MTB kasi hindi na siya na-recognize. Excuse me. Hindi na siya na-recognize ng table. Pwede siyang valid interpretation siya. But the problem is, in the absence of the policy guidelines of the NRP and the NMP currently, anong gagawin ng teacher sa loob ng 1 oras sa bawat araw, 4 times a week? Si grade 2 and grade 3 teachers. wala silang gagawin. Kasi walang NRP eh. Wala pang NMP policy guidelines eh. Yun yung ano dun eh. And then, hindi naman specifically stipulated sa DepEd Order number 10 na the following learning areas are being replaced. MTB is replaced by English and Filipino. Language, reading and literacy replaces English and Filipino for grades 1. And MTB will be removed as a learning area for grades 2 and 3. Come school year 2024-2025. Wala naman kasing clear stipulation ng ganun. So, ang bagsak, purely assumption lang siya. Again, ito ha, may mga abogado naman siguro dito eh. The policy, any gray areas, any unclear provisions within a policy will benefit those who did not write the policy. Naintindihan niyo po ba yun? Ulitin ko ha. Any unclear or gray areas within the policy will benefit those who did not write the policy. So, kung sino man po ang nagsulat nitong policy ng DepEd Order number 10, kung ano man po ang lamang gray area nito or unclear provisions nito, tapos na-violate ng mga implementing units, it cannot be taken against them. Kasi hindi naman sila yung gumawa ng policy. Gray area siya eh. Unclear provisions siya eh. So, it will not hold bearing sa implementing units. So, if ever nga na sabihin nila na wala na ngang MTB sa grade 2 and 3, pero a certain division still conducted grades 2 and 3 and mother tongue based learning areas, you cannot one cannot castigate that particular division because it is an unclear provision within the policy itself, and it is within the burden of the person or group of persons who wrote the policy. Yan po yung principle ng policy writing and policy implementation. Klaro po ba? Ano? So wala pa pong NRP at NMP sa grades 2 and 3 this school year. Kaya nga po, ito another side of the parang spectrum ng interpretation ng DepEd Order number 10. Ano? So, kasi nga, yun nga, any unclear provisions on the policy, whichever will be implemented by the implementing units, it will not be taken against them. But my stand is, yun nga, it should be implemented gradually. Kahit lalabas ang policy guidelines ng NRP and NMP this coming weekend, kahit po lalabas yung draft or yung mismong policy guidelines na ng NRP and NMP ngayong oras na to, tapos ipapa-implement nyo sa grade 2 and 3, ang tanong ko, paano? Hindi nyo naman tininain. Binanggit ko na to sa mga previous broadcast natin. A lot of teachers can teach math, but not all of them can teach math effectively. In the same token, anybody can teach you how to read, but not everyone can teach you how to read effectively. Kaya nga po tayo may mga capacity buildings for teaching reading eh. And then napakalawak po ng sphere ng strategies involved in teaching reading. So, di yan siya basta-basta. Ang daling sabihin, every teacher should be a reading teacher. Of course. Hello? Anybody can say that. And anybody can agree. In fact, all of us would agree. But it's not just about teaching. It's about effectively teaching. Because if they cannot teach effectively, it's a waste of time and resources. So yun po, no? I was supposed to talk about career progression, but I'm here talking about DepEd Order number 10. So yun, ano ang initial, ko sa matatag curriculum, it's yet to be judged. Just like my stance with K-12 during the beginning of its implementation, it's yet to be judged. Now, after one cycle of the K-12 curriculum, I say if I'm going to score it, after the events of the pandemic, I can say siguro ang score niya nasa 6 or 7 out of 10. As far as its effectiveness is concerned. Kasi hindi siya efficient talaga eh. Even in the advocacy of implementing the MELCs, hindi pa rin po efficient yung K-12 curriculum. So, ngayon, na nilabas nila itong matatag curriculum, I cannot really say na it's already there for an evaluation kasi hindi pa nga nagsisimula eh. So, hindi pa natin siya pwede siyang i-judge. Clarification lang sir, the new time allotment na po ba gagamitin? Yes, kasi nga, yan, specifically mentioned na there will be recalibration of the times dun sa, yun yung Annex 3 na binanggit ni sir. For implementation na po talaga yun. Sir, why man i-anchor sa matatag curriculum ang class program sa grade 6 this year nga? The reason behind there is the departmentalization. May mga cases kasi that we have teachers who are academic teachers crisscrossing different grade levels. So may mga teachers tayo na nagtuturo ng math sa grade 5, pero may mga learning areas, mayroong mga classes din siyang tinuturuan sa grade 4. So syempre, yung math sa grade 5, kung sustain natin yung matatag yung K-12, 50 minutes. Tapos yung grade 4, 45 minutes. So, hindi pareho. Ang ending, it will create imbalance. Magkakaroon siya ng imbalance sa part ng mga in charge in creating the class programs in a departmentalized class or grade level. So, kasi nga, isang key stage yan siya. Involved dyan is key stage 1, 2, 3. Yan, key stage 1, 2, 3 is key stage 1. Yung grade 4 kasi, na implementan na rin ng matatag curriculum, under siya sa Key Stage 2. Kasama siya ng grade 5 and 6. Kaya damay sa grade 5 and 6 sa recalibration ng time allotment. Okay? Klaro? Yan yung dahilan. Because of the departmentalization scheme ng ating agency sa grade levels. So, imagine sa grade 7 to grade 10. So, kung hindi natin gagalawin yung grade 8, 9, and 10, in some schools, sa junior high school, na nag-handle ang isang teacher ng grade 8, 9, and grade 10, or grade 7, grade 8, and grade 9, magkakagulo yung schedule nila. Kasi wasak yung schedule nila kasi hindi pare-pareho yung time allotment ng learning areas. If hindi i-recalibrate yung mga learning areas sa implementation this school year. So, klaro? Klaro po ba? So, yan po yung ano niya dyan. Parang, what do you call this? Yan po yung reason behind. Nako, reason behind. So, what else? I think I've covered much already. Ano? I thought I'm just gonna spend 30 minutes talking about this. Medyo napahaba yung napahaba yung ating broadcast ngayong hapon. And then, I'm already 12% na lang sa aking battery. So with that, my dear friends, mga kaguro, mga ka-DepEd, mga kaibigan at kapatid ko sa pagtuturo, Char. Salamat po sa inyong lahat sa panonood, pagpa-participate sa ating What's Up DepEd Season 1 Episode 7. So, Episode 7 na po tayo, no? Nasa Episode 7 na tayo ng What's Up DepEd Season 1 for school year 2024-2025. All of this will be published and kept here in our channel as well as in our other channels in YouTube, so you can also watch us there. Please like, share, and support our channel kasi ito lang po yung nag-iisang channel natin na kung saan we talk about things, the issues, and discuss matters that are being implemented or are being talked about in our agency. Dito po sa ISF Media, wala kaming pake kung sino matatamaan. Ang sa amin lang, sasabihin ang katotohanan. Dahil po naniniwala kami na kung ang kabataan ang pag-asa ng ating bayan, ang mga guro ang pag-asa ng ating kabataan. Maraming salamat po sa panunood. Ako po ang inyong lingkod, si Sir Wes ng ISF Media. Mulit-muli, sana po magkita tayo ulit sa susunod nating broadcast at maraming salamat at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat.